In today's video, we are going to explore best Alan Watts quotes about the universe. Let's get started. And people get all fouled up because they want the world to have meaning as if it were words. As if you had a meaning. Billions of years ago, you were a Big Bang, but now you're a complicated human being. And then we cut ourselves off and don't feel that we're still the Big Bang. But you are. Depends how you define yourself. You are actually, if this is the way things started, if there was a Big Bang in the beginning, you're not something that's a result of the Big Bang. Every individual is a unique manifestation of the whole, as every branch is a particular outreaching of the tree. Every individual is an expression of the whole realm of nature, a unique action of the total universe. I have realized that the past and future are real illusions, that they exist in the present, which is what there is and all there is. I see every one of you as the primordial energy of the universe. I know I'm that, too. But we've learned to define ourselves as separate from it. If this world is a vicious trap, so is its accuser, and the pot is calling the kettle black. If, then, my awareness of the past and future makes me less aware of the present, I must begin to wonder whether I am actually living in the real world. In looking out upon the world, we forget that the world is looking at itself. It's like you took a bottle of ink, and you threw it at a wall. Smash! And all that ink spread. And in the middle, it's dense, isn't it? And as it gets out on the edge, the little droplets get finer and finer and make more complicated patterns, see? So, in the same way, there was a Big Bang at the beginning of things, and it spread. And you and I, sitting here in this room, as complicated human beings, are way out on the fringe of that bang. Life exists only at this very moment, and at this moment it is infinite and eternal, for the present moment is infinitely small. Before we can measure it, it has gone, and yet it exists forever. Not hurrying, the purposeless life misses nothing, for it is only when there is no goal and no rush that the human senses are fully open to receive the world. Parts exist only for purposes of figuring and describing, and as we figure the world out we become confused if we do not remember this all the time. Philosophy is man's expression of curiosity about everything and his attempt to make sense of the world primarily through his intellect. Technology is destructive only in the hands of people who do not realize that they are one and the same process as the universe. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple. And yet, everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. The more we try to live in the world of words, the more we feel isolated and alone. There was never a time when the world began, because it goes round and round like a circle, and there is no place on a circle where it begins. Look at my watch, which tells the time. It goes round, and so the world repeats itself again and again. Things are as they are. Looking out into the universe at night, we make no comparisons between right and wrong stars, nor between well and badly arranged constellations. Through our eyes, the universe is perceiving itself. Through our ears, the universe is listening to its harmonies. Tomorrow and plans for tomorrow can have no significance at all unless you are in full contact with the reality of the present, since it is in the present and only in the present that you live. There is no other reality than present reality, so that, even if one were to live for endless ages, to live for the future would be to miss the point everlastingly. We are living in a culture entirely hypnotized by the illusion of time, in which the so-called present moment is felt as nothing but an infinitesimal hairline between an all-powerfully causative past and an absorbingly important future. We have no present. Our consciousness is almost completely preoccupied with memory and expectation. We do not realize that there never was, is, nor will be any other experience than present experience. We are, therefore, out of touch with reality. We confuse the world as talked about, described, and measured with the world which actually is. We are sick with a fascination for the useful tools of names and numbers, of symbols, signs, conceptions, and ideas. We are the complicated little patterns on the end of it. Very interesting. But so we define ourselves as being only that. If you think that you are only inside your skin, you define yourself as one very complicated little curlicue, way out on the edge of that explosion. Way out in space and way out in time. We are the witnesses through which the universe becomes conscious of its glory, of its magnificence. We confuse the world as talked about, described, and measured with the world which actually is. We do not come into this world, we come out of it, as leaves from a tree. As the ocean waves, the universe peoples. What I am really saying is that you don't need to do anything, because if you see yourself in the correct way, you are all as much extraordinary phenomenon of nature as trees, clouds, the patterns in running water, the flickering of fire, the arrangement of the stars, and the form of a galaxy. You are all just like that, and there is nothing wrong with you at all. What is always the source of the world is the present. The past doesn't explain a thing. When you get free from certain fixed concepts of the way the world is, you find it is far more subtle, and far more miraculous, than you thought it was. Without birth and death, and without the perpetual transmutation of all the forms of life, the world would be static, rhythmless, undancing, mummified. You and I are all as much continuous with the physical universe as a wave is continuous with the ocean. You are a function of what the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is a function of what the whole ocean is doing. You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. You are that vast thing that you see far, far off with great telescopes. You are the Big Bang, the original force of the universe, coming on as whoever you are. You didn't come into this world. You came out of it, like a wave from the ocean. You are not a stranger here. You're not something that is a sort of puppet on the end of the process. You are still the process. You are the Big Bang, the original force of the universe. When I meet you, I see not just what you define yourself as, Mr. So-and-so, Ms. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so, I see every one of you as the primordial energy of the universe coming on at me in this particular way. I know I'm that, too. But we've learned to define ourselves as separate from it. Please let us know your favorite quotes from these best Alan Watts quotes about the universe in the comments section. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.